guys, here we are in the new session, and I just want to talk a little bit today about something that's a little bit different. I'm standing in a leather store, and this is a cool store. It's got a lot of raw leather as well as some other products and stuff made out of leather. I've got just random pieces of leather they've got all over the place in here, and you see kind of some rugs behind me that are made out of real, genuine leather. None of the fake stuff in here. This is a great hat, and this is kind of the belt that starts out as a piece of leather, and then you finally turn it into a real belt. And, I love this place. It just smells authentic. It smells real. And, normally you wouldn't put your face in a hat and sniff it, But when it's authentic, genuine leather, and nobody's put their head in it yet, you can smell it because it smells so good because it's real. And what we need to talk about today is we need to talk about authenticity. And the thing about things that are authentic is they're a lot like leather. There's a couple of highlights I want to make here. One of them is that the thing about real leather is it's the same inside and out. When you buy things that are fake leather, they're like pleather or some sort of substitute product or whatever, kind of the stuff when you're too cheap to buy the real thing. It starts out looking really great, but then over time, what happens? The imperfections from the inside, the actual real product, which is something other than leather, starts to work its way out. And your shoes or your hat or whatever just starts to look like a piece of junk after a while. But not so with real leather, because it's authentic, it's the same all the way through. And years later, it's still the same. It's still leather all the way. And then the second thing that makes it unique and makes it really like authentic is that it has imperfections in it. It's funny, I was looking at this piece of leather right here. This is a real piece of leather. And it's funny because it's got a couple of smudges in it, and it's got a couple of scrapes in it. But you know what? It's because it's real. And I love that reality about authenticity, because one of the values that we talk about, and remember, values are boundaries. We're staying inside. We have to have authenticity as we lead, and also authenticity in our lives. And that means that we're not perfect. It means that the imperfections of our life sometimes are just on the world, for the world to see, and that's okay. We don't have to freak out about that. I used to have a car when I was a kid, and some of you are not old enough to remember this, but we used to have cars with seats that looked like leather, but they were really some sort of plastic something, and they would develop cracks along the way, and our legs would get pinched in them and stuff like that. It's because we were too cheap to buy real leather seats. We had the fake stuff. So that's just another way that imperfections play out. Somebody's going to get pinched if we're not authentic. So anyway, last thing I'll say here. Today you're going to go to your workbook page and you're going to work on authenticity and also humility. Those two things go together. You may not always think humility and authenticity go together, but the reason they do is because humility as a value is a precursor to authenticity. We cannot be authentic unless we're first humble. And you'll see why as you go through your pages. So anyway, have a great time today. Thanks.